Soul Garden. Live, love, be.
Good morning from my smartphone to yours. I'm Castin Love from the Series Joy Garden Studios in Costa Mesa, California. Welcome to your Wednesday Namaste today. Having trouble in your love life? I have the answers. It's called Secrets of Birthdays, the Love and Lust Report. The biggest problem usually is people choose the wrong person. Not anymore. Find out your birthday secrets available online at secretsofbirthdays.com. Good morning and namaste, and welcome to Namaste Today. I'm your host and spiritual life coach, Christopher Witecki. My modality is psychic astrology, and my personal mission is to unite the light in my heart and help others unite the light in theirs. This webisode is for Wednesday, March 16th, 2016, and today the great human walk has reached step 26, Pisces. Hello friends, Bella and I are so happy to see you, and I want to thank everyone who has left comments for me on my mothership, soulgarden.tv. A lot of people have questions for me. Sometimes they forward those questions to our help at Soul Garden, but really I actually check the comments every morning. So if you have a question and you want me to answer it, it's best to put it in those comments. That's like my morning ritual. Just make sure you check back the next day though. Sometimes, I don't reply until later in the day. Now, I also want to do a shout out for our light walker this week, which is all week, Mary Beth Murphy. We're doing a shout out to her work and her as an angel reader. And today I'm releasing another episode. We're wrapping up this whole series of Energy to Angels, teaching about archangels and how energy works and how the distinctions of consciousness happen up in heaven. Well, today she's going to talk about the Angel of Freedom. And you'll learn more about that. And you can find that on my website, also at soulgarden.tv, and comment about those if you'd like to also. I think they're very helpful in these high degrees of Pisces. So let's do today's vibe. Today's vibe is sunny, passionate, and I argue powerful. Sunny, passionate, and powerful. It is a powerful day because step 26 rules the day. We're in Pisces, which means that we are in the highest state of spiritual consciousness or spiritual compassion. And I know you might be saying, what? I'm not seeing any compassion at all on the planet. And I actually said this last week if you watched my show. We had a solar eclipse in compassion. And I said what happens is the solar eclipse itself is ever so gentle, ever so light. And so many viewers told me they slept for like 2 days. They were so tired. And I said that gentle compassion will, like 2 days later, create everything to blow up. Anything that lacks compassion will blow up and explode. And that was mostly all the violent protests on the weekend. And a lot of people had said they'd been very angry. So here we are, very passionate, but now we are powerful because step 26 rules the day. And what that means is I feel, and 6 is when I receive. So I feel when I receive. When I receive gratitude, when I receive payment, when I receive money. Basically, it comes down to the fact that this will be the day you're going to see whether or not you're going to receive, or at least you're going to make up your mind and decide step 8. That's what it adds to at the end of the day. It adds to a decision, and that decision will be yes or no, commit or not commit. So my heart today seeks to find the easy spot. I want to commit, but I want things to work. So this is the back and forth. I'll also remind you that the 6 and 26 is Libra, and so there's a lot of back and forth until we decide step 8. My heart, I feel a lot of emotion. The moon is in Cancer today, and I'm processing today the lower baggage out. So there's a lot of icky feelings, a lot of old feelings. There's old feelings that want to haunt and come back that I have to dismiss. I'm open to what my mind thinks. Venus is at step 5. So Venus is at step 5, and when you have a planet that's pointing to another planet, pure number, that means the planet just does whatever that planet wants today. So today, our mind is basically deciding what we open to or what we don't open to. I'm thinking about, that's where Mercury is, what I'm spiritually manifesting next. Mercury is at step 19 Pisces, and that is I love and I act on. So our mind is focusing on what we're loving, what we're acting on, and what we're manifesting in a bigger way. I am and I act moving forward with everything I believe, placing all bets on the line. Not certain, but I'm going to do it anyways. That's because Mars is at step 3. Step 3 is when the ignorance blows open. And I think we're going to find a lot of truth come out. Interesting, just to put out there, I think it was a huge spiritual blunder of Hillary to give credit to Nancy Reagan for HIV progressiveness. Anyone who's a progressive knows that the Reagans were horrible and too many men died due to them ignoring it, Nancy Reagan included. So that was a real whoa. There was a reveal of Hillary's true belief. Now, I just happened to catch that, so if you're a Hillary fan, I'm sorry, I just caught that. If I catch it, I've catched it with Trump. Trump's real beliefs are coming out a lot. But I think you'll also see Bernie's real beliefs come out. So if he's got something hidden, I think we'll see it come out too. But I am moving forward with everything I believe, and Mars is at step 3, and the truth is coming out. I am learning how to choose my reality and not to choose my reality. Jupiter is at step 17, retrograde Virgo. So we're relearning how we should choose life. We're relearning how we should choose. And based on 7, that's Pisces, which is where we're at also. So today, your joy question, you choose to accept it, is to determine what flows easiest. Determine what flows easiest. Okay? What flows easiest in your life, and commit to those things. So if you're like, you know what, this baker, I love this baker. He always has stuff on time. I always have my donuts, my coffee. I'm committing. This is the easiest baker I have. And in a way, on the mundane level, that's true today, on the most mundane level, because a lot of times, it's those things that go right every time that really keep us in check for the things that we have hard time committing to. So it's not just the big things you're committing to, like a new place to live or something else. It's also these tiny little things that add up to a huge break at the end of the day. So determine what flows easiest and commit to your spiritual highest good. So when you do commit, make sure it's for your best good and what your heart and soul truly wants. All right, let's transition now to today's topic. Today's topic is unity by heart. It's time to play, or we might pay. So this actually comes from a meditation that I did, and a lot of people have asked me, Chris, where do you get your ideas for your topics? Well, they're always inspired by the astrology, I have to say that. I mean, that's why people say, wow, your shows are very timely. Well, I always look at the astrology, look at the states of awareness, look at everything going on inside the person or the souls or us as a collective, and I try to bring up topics of wisdom and knowledge that I know based on that. And I usually have a lot of things to talk about. A lot of my stuff comes up in readings. In fact, a lot of people have had personal readings with me where I've said right there in the reading, oh my gosh, you know what, I need to bring that up in the show. I said, watch out, you're going to see that in the show. And I bring it up because I think it's an important topic. So divine inspiration. But when I hit a complete dry well, I literally pray to God and ask, what do you want me to teach? And in fact, in meditation, if anyone wants to know, I literally go with my heart bowed and I say, Father, what shall I teach? And I like to call God Father, but I think you can call God Mother. You can call God he, she, it. She doesn't really care. I think it's whatever your heart lights up with. My heart lights up with Father. It feels really good that way. So Father, what shall I teach? And right away, the answer is teach flexibility, teach unity of the heart. So yesterday I taught flexibility, and today I'm teaching unity of the heart. But the unity of the heart came deeper when I asked God, what do you mean by unity of the heart? What is that? And then suddenly I get this image in my brain, this image of a brain and neurons, and all these neurons in this brain firing in different places. But then, Spirit shows me that, in the centers of, in the neurons, I guess that's space between, is that right? Yeah, where neurotransmitters are whatever. Things weren't crossing. And so what I got from me is that people are lighting up individually, but they're not unifying. We're not unifying as a collective. We're not unifying as a culture. We're not unifying as a nation. Well, duh, we're not. But I got more of an of an image of why, and I sensed all this as I just witnessed this millisecond image, was that each individual neuron is not letting the light pass through them. They're not letting the light pass through them. They themselves can light up, but they're afraid of other people's light passing through them. That was what I got from the image. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense for Pisces. It makes a lot of sense. And I think I understand why. But let's first pose today's 5 o'clock question, which will help you understand if you are having this spiritual phenomenon. Is there a different class of people your heart wishes to protect on Earth? Is there a different class of people your heart wishes to protect on Earth? So in other words, I am Polish and I am, Catholic and I am Buddhist, but for me to want to protect Jewish, that's not where I come from. So me to protect that. Is there a different class that you always want to protect outside yourself? And the follow-up is, why do you think your heart cares about these people? Why do you think your heart cares about these people? Okay. So I bring this up because I want to bring up this idea of, are we allowing unity of our hearts? Are we allowing light to pass through us as a culture? And if we aren't, why? Let's get on it. I think we need to light up this grid. Now, is there a different class of people my heart wishes to protect? Yes, there's so many. I mean, unfair question to me, but I will say that, actually I did always want to protect the Jewish, but I think that was because I saw them so victimized. So anytime I see a victimized a sector of culture that is treated as subclass, let me say this correctly, and treated that way, my heart right away is for the victim, my heart right away is for the underprivileged. So I always want to protect that class. I've also wanted to protect all other minority groups as well, particularly women, young mothers, very kind of crazy about mothers being protected and having what they need to raise kids. And that's, I think, maybe a survivalist thing as a Taurus. I'm like, people aren't, people aren't getting pregnant, people aren't getting erections, people aren't, women are miscarrying. What's the matter? So I have a concern about that and that sort of thing. Why does my heart care about them? Well, I'm kind of explaining each case because in each case, my heart actually has a personal interest in seeing the outcome. I don't want to see people victimized. I just certainly don't want people to be oppressed for their religion. I certainly don't want to, see young mothers suffer and not get the support they need, and the kids get the support they need, and generations continue to just trip over themselves. So all that's icky to me. I bring it up because these are the things I care about in life. This is the light you can light up with. This is the grid. When you care about something, and you care about something, you want to let light and love pass through you, is what I'm saying. And I think that's what's not happening. I think each of us are lighting up and voting for things, but we're not holding hands. We're not letting light pass through us to them. We're not creating a grid of light and making shoulder to shoulder, arm to arm as citizen, going like, hey, hey. And it's an affirmation. It's a knowing. But, your spirit, once your spirit connects and says, I'm open, even if they don't know you're doing it, and you're letting light pass through, we start to light up the grid. So constantly looking with our third eye, looking on our children. So, I believe that this is a time where it's time to, as far as a light worker population is concerned and a light walker population, as far as what can we do to, we're the professionals, right? The earth is having trouble. It's time for us to do what we do. I think to some degree, the minimum that we can do is that we can speak up and say out loud, whether it's out loud in the shower or it's out loud in public or it's out loud on Facebook or Twitter. But saying it out loud and saying it proud is actually the beginning of magic, is the beginning of applauding spiritually for something. You are manifesting when you use your voice, which is why, rational protests are okay. People should have freedom of speech. I think the forefathers were wizards. They knew you have to be able to speak things to manifest. That's the first word. God says first there was the word. So I think the first thing you can do everywhere, and this is really the unity by heart, and I'm going to bring up unity by heart a lot, but to me the first thing is to unite with where you have love that you can support and pass all the time. It's also going to make you feel stronger to be supporting outwardly strong what you love. And I don't care if you're not into politics or anything else. Go support anything you love now. The light walkers, I think, need to amp up the love. And of course, you have to be feeling it for yourself, and I don't think you should do it unless you are feeling self-love and you are empowered and you're feeling online, because you don't want to bring light down by joining. But if you can bring bright light, I think everyone needs to step up and bring bright light. So, I heard this quote, which I've heard so many times, and I'll wrap up with this quote in today's topic, which is, and actually I was watching Star Trek, actually, the latest Star Trek movie, to be honest with you. I'm a total geek and love Star Trek. I'm talking about the new ones. And basically, they were joking about how in times of crisis, my enemy's enemy is my friend. My enemy's enemy is my friend. So if we both have a common enemy, we friend up. I think it's time to really inside out that logic now, and I want to suggest something else that you do right now in your life and create a grid of light, and that is, my friend's friend is my brother, or my friend's friend is my sister. So instead of my enemy's enemy is my friend, I propose my friend's friend is my brother or sister, and so it is. I thought so. All right, my friends, let's look on to today's Zenden. Think about that, unite by the light, and we'll bring this topic up again. But now let's look at our planets. And welcome to the Zenden. Take 3 breaths with me, will you? And let's connect to our spirit. And as we do, I'm envisioning a brilliant royal blue light that surrounds and protects us. You and I are in the center, and golden light is coming to you. And this is our co-creation energy, and I like to connect my light to you. I feel that we have a connection if you're watching this show, and I enforce it and give back to you. In fact, Namaste is the light in me I see in you, or the light in you I know in me, however you want to look at it. Okay. All right. So I did ask Spirit for a planet just now, and I'll share with you kind of my revelation. Sometimes when I throw planets out, I can feel that I'll get an answer, a couple answers, but they don't really feel true. I can't describe it. It doesn't feel solid. It's almost like I'm clearing the answers out. So, a lot of you are playing along at home trying to get a planet. I want you to know I got 2 planets that didn't feel right, but the 3rd planet felt right. Now you might go, how did it feel right, Christopher? Well, once I brought the planet up in my consciousness, first of all, I got the planet, just came out of nowhere. But then when I thought about the planet after seeing the planet, I felt just a very deep resonance, and I was like, this is the planet. And the planet was Mercury. Okay, so let's take a look at our overhead projector and see what Mercury is trying to tell us. Actually, no, I have to do an affirmation first. Excuse me, I'm getting excited and ahead of myself. Let's do an affirmation today that'll help you with the step 26 commitment, and here it is. I feel my feelings today. I feel what's fair. I now commit. I feel my feelings today. I feel what's fair. I now commit. So that's basically step 26, what I feel, what's fair, and I decide or commit at this high level. And so it is, because I said so, I thought so. All right, now let's look at the overhead protector. Sorry about that, folks. Step 26 rules the day. Okay, that is I feel, and what I receive adds up to an 8. Okay, so this is always a corner turning point. Now, as an astrologer, you might want to always go, where's Saturn? Because Saturn is what 8 is. So knowing where Saturn is means that, or knowing where the ruling planet is, or knowing what that final state is, okay, that state is the state that you can look at the ruling planet of it to kind of see what's going on over there, because it usually adds into the energy that you're dealing with today. So we are in our emotions, we're in our Libra side, and at the end this will turn us into an authoritarian where we'll make a decision. And today we're making a decision. What is it? Well, it's really about Pisces energy. When you're talking about Pisces energy, the commitments you really make are to your spirit. And so to your spirit, that usually involves non-judgment, self-compassion, letting things go, finally moving on in your life with certain things, finally allowing healings in your life. When we make commitments in Pisces, that's what we're making. You definitely don't want to be making any commitments that are under a certain judgment, like I'm too fat and therefore, this and therefore, and that and therefore. Any commitment you're making under a judgment you're not getting it at all. Okay, like that's not what Pisces is about. So, do a little of that. Now, also today, like I said, Saturn is at step 16. Look at that. And notice that there's 6s prevalent both here. And, today we add to an 8. Now, the 16 adds to a 7, which means Saturn's holding a note of trying to make decisions about our beliefs that we love and are easygoing, or that we can receive, that we can swallow, that we can actually take. Okay? And that adds to spirit. Anything that you love and can actually take, that turns out to be the spiritual thing to do. All right? So, in essence, today, again, as we make our final decision, it must be something that we love and is easygoing and adds up to a spiritual equation. Now, the moon. The moon is in Cancer today, and that's the purebred sign of the moon, if people don't know. So when the moon goes to Cancer, the moon goes home. Whenever a planet goes to its home sign, it gets a cleansing, okay? So the entire state of awareness itself gets cleaned. So when Mercury goes to Gemini, thoughts get cleaned. When Jupiter goes to Sag, beliefs get cleaned. Whenever the home planet goes home, things get cleaned. Neptune is in Neptune is in Pisces right now, which means Neptune or Pisces is getting a big cleaning and has for a while. Well, the moon's on its every 28-day cycle, but it does mean that we are going to purge our lower emotional baggage today in the beginning of the day. And that is our once a month, every month purge. So the entire Earth goes through a cycle where the entire Earth purges emotionally, and you'll be going through that really Tuesday night to Wednesday morning, feeling just this sadness, letting stuff go. And because we are making a commitment to letting things go in Pisces, you might let a lot go this particular Cancer. Just want to let you know. So if you're feeling crappy and you're crying and you're letting stuff out, perfect, says Sensei. Perfect. I'm so proud of you. Lastly, I'll just say Mars at step 3. Step 3 is the ignorance step. It's the step that breaks open ignorance, so it always draws to it extremely ignorant people who are looking for a lesson. I would imagine everyone in Chicago, no offense, if you were there, you might have been ignorant looking for a lesson. I'm just saying Mars is pushing for that sort of thing. How do we get through this, Sensei? Well, what you do is you test things. You stay open. You experiment now, but you don't lay your foot down as knowing 100%. Because until Mars hits Saturn, we won't know 100%. Mars is the test run. Saturn is the commitment. So it's like, I'm committed to running 50 miles an hour. Okay, let's do the test run. Hey, by the time you try to get to that commitment, you realize right away it's not going to work. So there's a lot of, I'm not really overly concerned about what we see at the politics right now, because Mars is heading for Saturn, and that means everyone is going to see what works and what doesn't very clearly very soon. And if you don't know, just be open and play it out. All right, my friends, that's all we have for this particular overhead projector. Today, if you're watched over my personal Sensei network, which I highly recommend, some of my best work in writing comes out every day, I'm giving you some eye candy at 3 p.m. designed to help you with your day today. And the eye candy is super simple. The critical decision points for your particular Saturn. So back to your natal chart and your natal information that I have on file in the AIT, I can see what is critical to you to make a decision. It's based on your Saturn step number, and I'll give you that today so you have it in your back pocket before you go to bed and make critical decisions. And I want to remind everyone I am now available for birthday calls, where I call you up or someone you love, and I say happy birthday, and we rap for about 10 minutes. People are loving this, especially when it's a surprise. Find out more at soulgarden.tv, clicking on my services tab. Okay, my friends, I love you so much. I will see you tomorrow with more. I'll say it one more time. Remember, I love you, and live, love, be.
So